Hi friends, Mindy here. I want to share a little process with you today. I'm going to be creating some ephemera from these beautiful printables from Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio. These are actually free printables that she has on her Kofi site. She of course has her beautiful Etsy store where she has amazing printables, big sets of printables, just pages and pages and pages in each one of her kits. And so she, of course, has those, but these are actually free on that site. You can just go in and download them. And I have printed several of the freebies that I have right here that I'm going to be creating some ephemera with. I can't remember which one is which, so you'll just have to kind of go and look at them. I would encourage you to do that because who doesn't love free printables? And but you can see, like, this one would be a great full page if you were creating a junk journal to use if you did journals this size. I am actually, of course, going to be making these into ephemera for some other journals, but I just wanted to show you some of the ones that I have printed because I think that they are so beautiful. So this is like a I think this one's from Summer Bounty Collage, and then here's another one, and then this one is just such a great neutral, I think, that would be great for all kinds of things. I'm actually going to, like I said, use this to create ephemera. I actually printed a couple of these, and then I have this next one here. This one I think is also called From Summer's Bounty. Yes, and then there's one that's kind of all in green here. And there's other pages, of course. Like I said, I just only printed a few of them that I thought I would be making some ephemera with today. There's this one, again, I love the collage paper on here. I printed a couple of those as well. And then this one actually says on it, it's from Entomology and Botanicals. This is freebie 3. She even has some that you can like mirror print. You can, there are the mirror image of each other, which is really cool. But I did print a couple of these because I like the size of these for focal images. You kind of see here. And then, of course, a bunch of labels. Now, this one is actually one that coordinates with one of the fall collage kits, but I printed those out because I actually really like these color palettes, especially for like vintagey looking journals. And then this one, it says autumn, but these other pieces I think will still work well. And of course, she has a bunch of beautiful labels and stuff. So these are all the Entomology Botanicals freebies. So these ones are just labels. I love just the different numbers, and some are handwritten and just really cool. And then this one actually has some bugs on there. And then I love this one with the bees and the moths or butterflies. And then this one has some more botanical images as well. And you can see I have printed all these because I think you can never have too many labels. So I am actually going to put you on fast forward and start making some ephemera with this, but do go check out her Etsy shop for sure. Go check out her Kofi account. Donate over there if you feel up to it, but you certainly don't have to. All of these are available to you for free over there. I think there's 13 or so files. Some of those files have more than one page in them. So, like I said, go check all that out. And then the great thing about printables, you can keep printing them. So you always have access to them. So anyway, and then be sure to follow her over on Instagram as well. And she has a Facebook page too. So I am going to now put you on fast forward and get started making some ephemera from some of the bases that I have going on for my 100-day project. I think these are going to be perfect. I have a couple of botanical journals in mind, which is why I printed some of the ones that I did of the freebies. And I think they're going to work really well with some of these labels and things. So I'm going to put you on fast forward and start making some ephemera. Okay, so the first one I'm going to work with is this one from the entomology set. I'm going to trim these down. They're almost like tea cards, but larger. And I think they're going to make really great focal points for some of the pockets that I have created. Again, these were part of a 100-day project, so I have a bunch of kind of prepared bases to work from. And these are the perfect size. I felt like this one with this moth on it was just going to be really like the perfect size. I'm just trying to figure out which one of these I want to use. I was going to use it on that one pocket, but there were some words on there that I wasn't able to cover up and I didn't want to use it on there. So I am going to ink it up and then I'm going to glue it down. I'm using a Yoo-hoo glue stick for these pieces because the paper that I printed on was like a 32-pound paper, so it's a little bit thinner. And then I'm using one of the labels from her kits too. This is just one that I felt like matched really well, just has a date on it. But anyway, I'm using a glue stick because I don't want to have that kind of, squiggle line or whatever, and I want everything to really be glued down well. You could certainly use like a normal PVA or whatever if you wanted to. I just want to make sure that it's adhered down really well, especially because these things will be like sliding in and out of pockets or whatever. I don't want them to get caught and tear and things like that. So this piece I am going to turn into a tag. I have that little punch from Weird Memory Keepers that's just really actually very handy. And so you can create kind of different angles of the tags up at the top. And, of course you could do that multiple different ways, but that little punch is quite handy. So I added some washi tape that I just had kind of sitting on my desk actually. And it is this dark blue, and I think that it just kind of pulls everything together and kind of gives that one just a little bit more place to kind of be grounded, so just not floating in the middle of the tag. And then I took one of the ones that had this big sunflower on it, and I actually fussy cut that out, and then I cut one of the labels. This was from the fall set actually. And it's hard to see on camera, but one of the papers that's in this background that I have has some of that yellow in it. And so I just felt like it was kind of a good way to kind of bring that all together. I did trim that piece down, and I'm going to make it a pocket. It's just a little bit too large for the size of journals that I normally create. So I just trimmed that down, and now I'm going around again, inking everything. I'm using archival ink in ground espresso to do all my distressing on all of these pieces. I just like the fact that once it dries, it's permanent. So that way, if I decide to add anything else or, do something else down the road, I don't have to worry about it not being permanent. So again, on this one, I ended up rounding the corners up at the top of the pocket. Just felt like that helped it kind of look a little bit more finished. And then again, using my Yoo-hoo glue stick, just going to get that label to be really stuck down nice and well. It's my favorite. Yoo-hoo glue sticks are my favorite for like collaging and that kind of stuff. But I am using this Tim Holtz butterfly. And so I did pull out my art glitter glue for that because it's just a stronger glue. And those are like a chipboard weight. And so I want to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. So these pieces, this was one of the collage pages and from the Summer Bounty. And I felt like I could probably get about 4 pockets out of this, which is what I end up doing. So certainly you could use this in a journal page. You could fold it in half and it would be a beautiful page in a journal if you make your journals that size. I've mentioned that before. That's not a typical size for me personally, but I have always been able to find ways to use these beautiful pages. And so this point, I'm just kind of taking each of the 4 kind of quadrants of this paper and I'm going to just tear that down, and then these will become sort of the focal images for each one of these pockets. I am adding a little bit of ink over the top of this one just because there were some areas that were a little bit brighter white than I wanted them to be, especially given the age of the book paper that I'm working with. And then again, using my glue stick to glue this down. And at this point, I'm not going to add anything else. I may come back when I actually put these into journals and add a word or a label or something like that. But they're just so beautiful, just kind of standing as they are, that I may just do more decorating with the tag or whatever that I put down inside of it and just leave these like they are, because I really do love how these turned out. There's just so much interest in them that I'm not really sure that I need to add anything else, but I will leave that decision kind of for when I'm actually putting them into a journal. I like to leave myself a little bit of room when I'm creating ephemera so that if when I actually get it into a journal, I want to add something, it just gives me a little leeway to do that. And then that helps kind of pull the journal together as well. So while I would consider this pocket to be finished, in the fact that it's ready to go into a journal now, if I have a botanical journal and it's got like a lot of yellows or something in it, I can pull yellow pieces and add more yellow to it, if that makes sense, to kind of really pull the theme of the journal together. So that's kind of my thought process behind how I am creating some of these ephemera pieces ahead of time. I am wanting to get some of these journals finished, and so I am having some things kind of just ready to go that you can kind of stick in there and then still be able to customize it is just really helpful. So I really, really loved this piece that had the leaf on it, the kind of the variegated color in it. And so I went through some of these bases that I had, and I found one that I felt like would work really well. It kind of has a fall vibe to it, and I think these colors work anytime just because I love them so much. But what I ended up doing is gluing this down, and then I cut one of the little labels out from the kit. Again, I think that was actually from the fall set, and I went back and forth about where I was going to put this label, and I felt like it could go in a couple different places. In the end, when this actually goes into our journal, I may add another piece of something because I feel like that bottom left hand corner could use a little bit of something. But these are all of the pieces that I created today. So if you liked this video, I would appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out the freebies on Michelle's site. And until next time, bye.